ANC bigwig has decided to free Jacob Zuma concerning oncoming elections. Hello and welcome to Hot Mzansi. African National Congress heavyweight and agent Secretary Coleman has unveiled a noteworthy move within the party's approach. The methodology of the ANC as uncovered by the party bigwig points to connected with voters in any way that does not make previous President Jacob Zuma our plan and mission. This declaration comes within a wake of the suspension of the previous president, who as the late made features by supporting and effectively campaigning for a recently shaped political party. The choice of the ANC to separate itself from previous president reflects a key move to divert its center and informing as the nation gears up for the coming races. The African National Congress, generally ruled by inside-controlled battles and discussions encompassing key figures, shows up to the recalibrating its picture. By sidelining discourses surrounding or suspended previous president, the party points to stress its commitment to broader national issues and arrangements. The decision underscores the ANC's affiliation or affirmation of the advancing political scene and the out to interface with voters on things past inside cracks. The party, confronting expanding competition from developing political substances, appears expectation on displaying a joined together front and anticipation a vision that amplifies past the shadows of the past pioneers as South Africa navigates the complex landscape of its political scene. His move in ANC procedure will without a doubt shape the elements of the up-and-coming race. Spectators and voters alike will be distinctly observing to see how the recalibration impacts the standing of the party and whether it resounds emphatically with the voters.
See, you don't arrive at a decision easily. This thing arose when we were in Bombela, and we felt we need time because in Bombela we had a particular responsibility to deal with. We had an ordinary National Executive Committee now at Birchwood. It was not an easy thing. We're all reflecting on it, agonizing about what has actually been put on our desk to deal with.
Were you surprised as the ANC when former president came out and said that?
You wouldn't have expected it coming from former President Jacob Zuma. You wouldn't have expected it. And me personally, I least expected. But when a person has made a resolve to walk away from you, what do? You go back and say, what is it that had brought us together? There was a marriage certificate. We made the vows before the priest. If you're not, I don't know what do they do, but I know that to make the vows, so faslatlane and stuff. And here a person doesn't actually come back to you and say there are these issues. Because one would have expected that with all the problems, including his own challenges that he's going through, there was ample opportunity to engage in the movement. Me included, being part of those who were making those attempts. But once a person reaches this point, you defer to the rules of the game, which is the Constitution. But even as the Constitution dictates, you then look at it and say, what does this now mean in terms of effecting the rules of the game, which is the Constitution? And that's how it happened. Glasses never fly. There's no boxing there. There's intense engagement. We spent 4 days in Birchwood, dealing with many other things, not just with this. So it was an unfortunate situation, but we have to now await the response from the former president on what was conveyed to him in line with the NEC decision. And the SG would keep us abreast on that.
Are you not worried about again, to the discussions we're having earlier about the impression that this gives to the public, that this might affect the ANC at the polls, KwaZulu-Natal? Here's a man who's got a great following, has had a great following. This might take away from the ANC at elections in KwaZulu-Natal. Does that not bother you as the ANC?
It does, and hence we have to strategize such that we recover from the lost ground. And we're doing exactly that. We're doing exactly that. The immediate one is to go out and explain exactly what this is all about. 2 is to interact with the electorate in a manner that does not make former President Jacob Zuma our agenda and our mission. We have a lot in our hands, and we have a lot to interact with our people on. Once the person wants to cut ties with you, spend less of your time discussing that person. Find ways and move on. And I think we're moving on as the organization. I so wish that we'll get feedback so that then the whole process can then be behind us.
Game over. Julius Malema is in hot water after angry residents retweet his speech. In recent developments, accusations of silence have been leveled against Julius Malema, leader of the EFF, regarding his alleged failure to comment on the case involving Ngizwe Msunu. The latter, a prominent figure in South African politics, has found himself embroiled in a web of controversy, yet Malema's purported silence has sparked criticism and raised questions about accountability within the political sphere. Ngizwe Msunu, known for his outspoken demeanor and vocal presence in political discourse, has been accused of various transgressions, including allegations of incitement and involvement in acts of violence. However, despite the gravity of these allegations and the considerable attention they have garnered from the public and media alike, Malema's purported lack of commentary has not gone unnoticed. Critics have voiced concerns over the perceived absence of accountability and transparency in Malema's response or lack thereof to the allegations against Msunu. Questions regarding the EFF stance on the matter, as well as Malema's personal views and involvement, have been raised, underscoring the need for clarity and decisive action in addressing such issues. In response to the growing scrutiny, Malema has broken his silence, vehemently denying accusation of indifference and complicity in the matter. In a statement issued earlier today, Malema emphasized the importance of due process and cautioned against rushing to judgment without sufficient evidence. I categorically refute any insinuation that I have been silent on the matter concerning Ngizwe Msunu, Malema asserted. As a responsible leader, I believe in the principles of justice and fairness. It is imperative that we allow the legal process to unfold without undue interference or prejudice. While Malema's statement may offer some reassurance to his supporters and detractors alike, the controversy surrounding the allegations against Ngizwe Msunu continues to cast a shadow over South Africa's political landscape. As calls for accountability and transparency grow louder, the spotlight remains firmly fixed on Malema and the EFF, underscoring the enduring importance of integrity and ethical leadership in the realm of public service. MK Party brought an unexpected gift to Zuma. In a sign of unflinching steadfastness and esteem, previous President Jacob Zuma has been hailed as a political backup parent inside the positions of Mkoto Wesizwe MK Party, the furnished winger of the African Public Congress. In a sincere motion, Zuma has offered thanks and sent messages of affection to those who gave allies inside MK, highlighting that they are getting through connection between the left pioneer and the association. Zuma association with MK traces all the way back to the freedom battle, where he assumed an essential part in the equipped obstruction against politically sanctioned racial segregation. Throughout the long term, this affiliation has developed, with Zuma turning into an image of strength and initiative inside the association. The term political backup parent mirrors the significant impact Zuma holds as a previous president, as well as a directing power inside MK. Allies see him as a guide and wellspring of motivation, somebody whose political sharpness and devotion to the ANC standards make him a legitimate figure in their eyes. In a new correspondence to MK individuals, Zuma conveyed his appreciation for the undaunted help he keeps getting. The message included articulations of adoration and appreciation, recognizing the common history and battles that tied sport him to the individuals of MK. This effort is viewed as a proportional motion, confirming the harmonious connection between a respected pioneer and a serious gathering of devotees. The feelings of adoration and appreciation are responded by MK individuals who view Zuma as a political figure as well as a protective figure, somebody who has faced the hardships of political life and stays a compelling voice in the ANC talk. The affirmation from Zuma effectively fortifies the ties between the political guardian and his devotees, encouraging a feeling of solidarity and reason. As Zuma keeps on exploring the intricacies of post-official life, the association with MK highlights the persevering through effect of his inheritance. The statements of adoration and appreciation responded among Zuma and MK allies feature the getting through nature of political connections and the permanent imprint left by pioneers who played crucial parts in molding the course of history.